Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lindsay Rose. I am a mindset and manifestation coach, and I specialize in making manifestation make sense. What I really love to teach on is the quantum physics, the science behind manifestation. That's really my forte. And today I want to dive into what it means to actually hold the frequency, to match the frequency, to be the frequency of your desired reality. Okay, first we need to really understand what that means. Now, when we think about frequency, I want you to think about this as your energetic blueprint. It is the vibration that you give off. So everything in this reality is vibrating. It's everything is moving. Nothing is static. Even though it might look like it's solid and physical, it's always moving. That includes you. Okay. So you have an energetic frequency that is basically the signal that you're broadcasting to the world. And the analogy that I like to use with this is thinking about a radio station, right? There are so many infinite radio stations that are available, but there's only one that you're tuned into, right? When you're listening to something, that's a frequency. You're tuned into that frequency. So that's what you're hearing. That's what you're picking up. So you have an energetic signature that is your frequency. And that energetic signature is comprised of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. Okay. So the thoughts and the feelings that you have create this vibration that you're putting off. And it's really the emotions. So the emotion is the frequency. And you can always tell what frequency you're on by the way that you feel. And the way that you feel is going to drive you to take action. So when we take action, we're moving energy. So therefore, we're creating this force field, this electromagnetic field around us. Okay. The electromagnetic field around you has a certain vibrational frequency. And I'll put a chart right here. It's the emotional guidance scale. Now, when you're in a feeling, when you're experiencing a feeling of anguish, of despair, of regret, resentment, these are all lower density emotions, which mean that you're going to be vibrating at a low frequency. So if we think about that from the radio analogy, you're going to be tuned into realities that are matching that frequency, are basically reflecting to you what that vibrational signature is that you're putting out. Okay. So when you are tuned into that frequency of those lower density emotions, that's what you're going to create. That's what you're going to experience. You're going to magnetize that to you. When you think of the heart, right? That's where the emotion is. That's where the energy field of the emotion comes in. So that energy field, when you're feeling something, think of that like a magnet, right? It's broadcasting a signal and it's pulling things into your reality based on the way that you're feeling. The mastery of being able to tune into the vibration of your desired reality and to hold it, number one, is that you have to identify what the feeling is of that desired reality. What does it feel like to have that reality that you want? And one of the greatest ways that you can help yourself to get there, because I know sometimes it's really hard to identify how you're going to feel if you've never experienced a certain reality. Like, let's say you're trying to manifest a relationship and you've never really felt what that feels like to be in a deep, loving, committed, intimate relationship. So in a way, in an essence, you have to allow yourself to imagine, to tap into what that would feel like, what that would be like. And using either visualization or scripting is one of my favorite tools. Scripting is really great because once you get started, you can just write and you can just allow your mind to kind of go into this story, this narrative of what it will be like for you to experience that. And when you're scripting, the important thing to remember as you're scripting is that you want every sentence to have a feeling associated with it. So when you write down a sentence, and as you're writing, as you're scripting, you want to make sure that you're writing about it as if it's already happened. And a great way to kind of externalize this is to think about your future self, your higher self, whatever you want to call it. And as you're scripting and as you're writing, start like writing a thank you letter to your future self of being like, thank you so much for going after your dreams. I'm so proud of you for letting go of the past. I'm so proud of you for working through that self-doubt. Now that you have done that, you are able to experience X, Y, and Z. Being able to externalize it will help you with resistance. So write that, script it out. And then every sentence you write, like for instance, if you're like, I'm so proud of you for letting go of that self-doubt and being so confident in yourself now, that is going to have a visual associated with it. So I really like to couple the scripting with the visualization because it allows you to tap into the emotion, which is the frequency. So as you do the scripting, as you do the visualizing together, you are tuning yourself to that frequency. You're putting yourself in that energy of that reality and experiencing in the now. We're essentially showing ourselves that that is possible, that we're capable of experiencing that. And most importantly, we're teaching our body what it feels like to have that and to experience this. So when you're writing this and when you're scripting, when you're visualizing, when you're doing that, and if you experience any sort of resistance or you experience any sort of thought that comes in, it's like, oh, you can't have that. That's not possible for you. That's never going to happen. That's where the limitation of belief comes in, and that's where you have to work through those limiting beliefs. That's really where the work is, to be able to identify those blocks, because the blocks are what essentially stop you. They keep you at that level of like, I can only experience this much because I have these belief systems that I've got to work through. That's where the inner work really comes in. So when those beliefs come up, I want you to think of that as a good thing. It's a good thing that those things are rising to the surface, because now you get to actually look at them and you get to heal them. The beliefs that we have are not facts, okay? And a belief is essentially just something that you have thought over and over and over again until it became automated. And when the belief comes up, when you experience that ceiling of what you believe is possible, that's the opportunity for you to evolve, for you to dissect that and really look at it and go, is this real? A belief, when you think about a belief, it can only be a fact if it's 100% true 100% of the time for 100% of the population. Okay. So as those beliefs come to the surface and you ask yourself, okay, is this true for everyone? Is this 100% true for 100% of the population? If the answer is no, then that belief doesn't hold validity, right? And we can start to release it. And when you bring something to the surface, as soon as it comes to the conscious mind and you bring it to conscious awareness, it can no longer have power over you because you can actually see it for what it is. So this is kind of like a two-step process of really being clear. What is that desired reality? What is it that you want to experience? Define it really clearly, write it out. Write it out in those sentences that you can see in your mind and feel in your body. And as those doubts rise, you work through those things. You work through it. This is how we quantum shift. This is how we move into those quantum states. Because if you can imagine it, it already exists. And imagination is just tapping into another dimension. So when you visualize something, you are essentially tapping into a dimension that already exists. And this is where we get into like kind of the multiverse theory of like there are infinite realities, infinite realities where you are experiencing other things from other states of your consciousness. So it's not limited to just this one experience. And as you are tap into that vision, as you tap into that other reality, you're shifting into a different quantum state. You're shifting into that reality where you already have that, which attunes your vibration. It allows your body to actually attune to that frequency. So that's kind of step one, is really identifying the frequency and then acclimating yourself to that frequency using those techniques. And then step two is going to be, everyday life. When you go out into your current reality, not giving it your attention, not feeding it. So you really want to start feeding the positive things, feeding the experiences that you want to have, celebrating the tiny wins, celebrating those moments. Even if it's just a small, teeny, tiny little positive thing, you want to feed all of your energy into the positive and let go of the negative, let go of the things that are happening to you right now that you don't want. The more energy you give to them, the more frustrated you get with them, the more you're fueling it, the more you're continuing to create it. And I know it's really hard sometimes when you're experiencing something that you don't want. It's hard to kind of not give it your attention because it's uncomfortable. It's not pleasant. It's not what you want. But this is really where you have to get into the mastery of this process of not letting your current circumstances define who you are, and not letting your current circumstances give you all of their attention and focus and energy. We have to really be neutral to them. Yes, you can identify this as something unwanted, but you don't want to fuel it by continuing to talk about it with friends and, complain about it and be frustrated and claim the story that you're a victim and things can't change. This does you no good. It does you absolutely no good. So recognize it's something unwanted and find the clarity in that contrast of what you do want, and focus all of your energy, your momentum, and your attention on that to the best of your ability. And that's how things begin to change. We can't keep looking at what is and validating what is and complaining about what is and have anything change. It really has to start with you no longer participating in that reality, no longer subscribing to that reality. And your energy is your greatest currency. Your attention is your greatest currency. So do you want to spend it on creating more of the negative, or are you going to take the reins on your life and take the reins on your reality and start to literally focus your attention and be really, really diligent about what you are giving that focus to? And your reality will completely shift if you can master the skill of not being reactive. Don't respond to the things that you don't want. Just simply notice them, observe them, zoom out, and refocus. Refocus on what you desire. And if you can do this over the course of 3 weeks, I mean, really, really holding that attention on that and not like letting any of that negativity seep into your vibration, your whole world will literally shift. It will be a quantum leap. Now, the other part of this too is remember the actions that you take are really, really important. Are you taking actions from that old state? Are you taking actions from the old vibration or the new vibration? And that's going to determine the results that you get, right? Because the actions that you take determine how reality is going to respond to you. So look at the actions that you're taking and ask yourself, am I aligning with the old frequency or the new frequency? And what actions would I be taking if I already believed this new reality was true, right? That's kind of what faith is. Faith is the assumption that God already answered your prayer. So if God already answered this prayer, if the universe is already bringing you what you want, start taking action from that certainty. And just watch, your reality is going to freaking shift and it's going to be amazing. And I can't wait for you to come back and drop me a comment as to how quickly it happened for you, because this is the secret, you guys. It's not always easy because this physical reality feels so real. It feels so tangible. But if you make the inner, if you make the mind, the mindset, the visual, if you make that world even more real, then your external world will start to become what you see in your mind, right? It's first created in here and then it's created in the physical world. So take the time to invest in your inner state. Take the time to imagine. Take the time to be a visionary. Take the time to be creative and watch how your world shifts in 2024. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share it with a friend that needs to hear this. And I am so grateful that you guys are all here tuning in. And until next time.